Tonight we're looking at a 55-year-old Odessa murder mystery which still haunts investigators and the victim's family. Our Gabriela Meza joins us now with a new series in the Big Two files.
I'm standing near 8th and Dixie where the Hilltop Apartments once stood. In the summer of 1970, this was the scene of a gruesome discovery. Eula Mae Kay Miller's body was found stabbed and left to decompose for days. 55 years later, Odessa Crime Stopper says her case is far from forgotten. Eula Mae Miller's life was cut short around July 16, 1970, after her nude body was found in her first-floor apartment. She had been stabbed multiple times, and investigators said that her killer left behind only a few clues.
55 years ago, Eula Mae Miller was found stabbed to death on July 16, 1970, in her first-floor apartment at the Hilltop Apartments on 8th and Dixie here in Odessa. Her nude body was found on the bed. She'd been stabbed numerous times. Investigators believe that she had been dead for about 4 days before her body was discovered there.
Miller, known to most as Kay, was a go-go dancer at the Tempo Club on Dobb Street. It was a popular nightlife spot in Odessa. The city had also been experiencing a crime influx, and 2 years later had been named the murder capital of the nation. Among the murders that occurred during that time was the murder of Eula Mae Miller.
Her given name is Eula Mae. She was a go-go dancer and she went by Kay Miller. So more people in the community would know her by Kay than they would by Eula Mae.
Several hours were spent on this case, and several suspects were interviewed. A convicted murderer named Johnny Meadows once confessed to killing Kay Miller during the investigation, but was never charged on this case.
Convicted killer Johnny Meadows was actually originally confessed to Kay's murder, but he was never convicted of that, and I don't know that investigators were ever completely sold on the fact that he was the one that did it. He confessed to several murders back in the time. He was convicted of a murder here in Odessa, but not this one.
According to the Deck podcast, Kay was last seen alive after paying rent on Sunday, July 12, 1970. By the following Monday morning, investigators believe she had already been killed. Autopsy reports show 6 stab wounds to her face, chest, and neck. Fatal injuries that still raise questions more than half a century later. Susan Rogers says this cold case is still active today and that her family is desperate for closure.
This has gone on since 1970, so it's a really old case. However, it's still open. I have actually spoken with her sister, who is still alive, still very interested in getting this case solved. She had some children at the time that were also very interested in that. As a matter of fact, when I was put in touch with her sister, I actually did that through her nephew, who never knew her, but that is still, he told me that's still a topic in their family, and they often wonder what exactly happened to her.
Rogers said to the killer that even if the guilt hasn't eaten you alive by now, justice still might.
You may have thought you've gotten away with it, but we haven't ever quit looking, and we're not gonna quit looking. And now's the time. If, you know, I mean, you have to be up there in age as well. I mean, she was 26 years old at the time that it happened, and so that would make her today, what, 81 years old. So assuming that the killer's somewhere in the same age group, I mean, you're getting on up there. You know, you need to clear your conscience and get straight with God, because there's a price to pay one way or the other.
Eula Mae Miller was a mother of 4, a wife, a daughter, a sister, and someone left her to die alone. For 54 years, her family has lived without answers. Her children grew up without knowing why. The person who did this may have hoped time would erase what happened, but her memory is still here, and we're still looking. If you know anything about the 1970 murder of Kay Miller, you could help bring peace to a family that's waited decades for justice. Reporting in Odessa, I'm Gabriela Meza.